How many of you guys have this inner battle when you're asked for a favor? You want to say no, but the word yes just blurts out before you can stop it. And then 5 minutes later, you're filled with resentment. I'm going to be very honest with you. Your people pleasing, it's not a personality trait. It's not just you being nice. It's a survival mechanism you learned when you were a child. Welcome back to my channel, Life Interrupted. My name is Janelle. Let's get started. I've heard countless stories where a woman will say, Janelle, why do I have such a hard time saying no? And the truth is, what protected you as a child is preventing you from fully knowing yourself as an adult. You guys know my saying, what got you to adulthood doesn't necessarily get you through adulthood. You weren't born a people pleaser. You were born a blank slate into this world, and your environment fostered the woman you are today. You learned that to be loved, accepted, or safe, you had to hide parts of who you are. And this is Survival 101. Let's break down why you can't say no using my 4-step framework. Number 1, it starts at the root. People-pleasing serves as a survival mechanism known as fawning, which stems from childhood trauma wounds. The wound is what you carry into adulthood that stems from traumatic experiences. And as a child, you learn to be helpful, accommodating, attentive to the needs of others. You remained silent, you observed, you suppressed your needs and your wants, and you became obedient. It was your brain's way of keeping you safe when there was no safety. This was not your fault. You had to deal with all forms of abuse, rejection, abandonment, isolation, narcissistic parents, emotionally immature parents, bullying, and the list can go on. You probably tried to speak up, but that was quickly met with retaliation. Your fawn response triggered your people-pleasing response. Pete Walker, the author of Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving, he noted that it's important to understand that variances in childhood abuse patterns, birth order, and genetic predisposition, it results in people going into a particular response: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. As an adult, you're stuck in this singular response pattern, even though you no longer need to rely on this primary method to survive. For example, you suddenly remembered you promised your sister you'd attend this event with her, which means you have to cancel plans that you made with a friend. You wake up really early to curate this perfect message that includes, I'm sorry, I'll make it up to you, and the long over-communicated cancellation, it sits in the pit of your stomach. You start thinking, is she going to be mad at me? She won't want to be my friend anymore. What if she thinks I'm lying? Maybe I should cancel with my sister and just go with her. Your mind is racing because you feel bad and guilty. You don't think she'll believe you. Your urge is to lie and make up a more believable excuse. Your emotional brain hijacks your prefrontal cortex. You start to regress because your brain is screaming danger. Even though you gave your friend enough notice, life happens, she's pretty reasonable, and plans get canceled. Your phone dings with her response. Your stomach is in knots. And her response, sure, no problem. Yeah, not a problem, that's fine. You breathe a sigh of relief. Your nervous system starts to calm down, but you still feel slightly on edge. This is an example of people pleasing. Number 2, the barrier. One barrier that keeps you saying yes is the act of betrayal. Folks who benefited from your lack of boundaries will make it about them, and they'll tell you how betrayed they feel. They no longer have access to your time, your energy, and your emotional bandwidth. Your boundaries are an inconvenience to them. They exploit your compassion and your empathetic nature to keep you in servitude. When their place in your life becomes threatened, they fight dirty. They get angry with you, they call you selfish, inconsiderate, and they threaten to withdraw their love or friendship if you don't conform back to the person that was easygoing, never said no, compliant, and a doormat. And as a child, you most likely attempted to assert yourself with your parents, but you quickly learned that they don't play fair. You were ignored, verbally or physically abused, degraded, or manipulated into thinking you're a bad person for speaking up and betraying your family. You felt the pain of rejection and withdrawal of love. So, you did like most kids would do. You fell in line because you still needed your parents for survival. Over the years, you became emotionally and psychologically stunted. You had no clue what you wanted or what you needed. You learned to keep the peace or something bad would happen. As an adult, the slightest discomfort makes you want to fix the situation. The pain from the past comes rushing back. Your nervous system is triggered, you feel guilty, and you find yourself saying yes when you really want to say no. The idea of betraying a loved one is so painful, even as an adult, that you remain trapped in a never-ending cycle of people-pleasing. Number 3, the pattern. Behind anxious attachment is fear. Fear of rejection, abandonment, subconsciously feeling like you're not enough, and believing you're never going to find love and acceptance ever again. You end up holding on to a relationship that's over, not because the person isn't healthy, but it's just not the right fit. Or there are times where you might hold on to an unhealthy relationship. You might fantasize about what could be while negating the instability of the other person. You might call or text him even though you know you shouldn't. You call him and get angry at him for not being the man you want him to be. You prioritize his feelings, his needs, his desires, and wants while ignoring your own. And you ignore red flags that indicate he's not a good person for you because you don't want to lose him. You believe you're so in love, but it's just your anxious attachment being triggered. You believe he's the only person for you, even though he hasn't demonstrated that he feels the same way. His behavior is inconsistent and unpredictable. He's most likely hot and cold with his emotional availability. This is a pattern you're used to from childhood, inconsistency and instability in your environment. Perhaps your parents withheld love until you got good grades. Maybe you had an absentee parent who wasn't consistent with their weekend visits. Maybe there was financial insecurity or substance misuse. Because of the instability, you became hypervigilant and you probably became codependent to ensure your needs were going to be met. Sometimes they were and sometimes they weren't. I've spoken about working through my own anxious attachment and becoming more securely attached. It does require a lot of emotional and cognitive work, but it's definitely worth the effort. Your mindset changes completely. You become in touch with your emotions, wants, and your needs. You start to realize you don't need to be dependent on someone else meeting your needs and providing love and acceptance. Why? Because it starts with you. The only way you realize that is by telling yourself the truth. This brings me to number 4, the truth. Behind your people-pleasing is this helpless, defenseless child. You don't trust that you can protect yourself. I'm going to tell you the truth. Your environment doesn't have to change for you to start healing. You do. Your pain is real, but your survival skills are outdated. Your skills can't take you to your desired destination without being real about how you got there to begin with. The truth is, you never were taught the importance of self-love and boundaries. You were never allowed to express yourself. Your life was interrupted by trauma, and the wounds became your identity, and it gave birth to people-pleasing. It stunted who you were supposed to become in life. Your inner child is still looking for protection. You need to show her and let her know she is safe in this moment. Hold her and let her know it's okay to venture out, but you need to teach her how to be in this world. Teach her the importance of saying no. Teach her it's okay to feel her emotions without getting engulfed in them. Teach her guilt was a weapon used against her to keep her safe. Teach her it's okay to experience an emotion and question its accuracy because it belongs to an old narrative. Teach her it's okay to sit in discomfort without fixing the situation. Teach her anxiety will pass. It's a fleeting emotion just like the rest. Teach her saying yes or no won't result in the loss of a healthy relationship. This all leads to one thing: the truth about who you are and who you want to be moving forward. I know this is a lot to sit with, and I want you to know if you recognize yourself in any of those 4 points, that's called awareness, not weakness. Most people go their whole lives without connecting the dots between their childhood and why they can't say no as an adult. You're doing this right. The resentment you feel after you say yes, that's your true self pushing back. It's actually a good sign. It means parts of you know that you deserve better. You're starting to get angry, and this is a step in the right direction as long as you use it in a healthy way. Before we get into rewiring your yes, if you're still watching, you already know this is more than just about saying no. This is exactly the kind of content that's needed to help you go past the surface. If this is landing for you, I want you guys to like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Let's get back into the video. Rewiring your yes into a no. Awareness is the first step, but awareness alone doesn't change the pattern. So let's talk about where to actually start. Number 1, notice the automatic yes first. You can't change a pattern that you don't recognize. Don't try to stop it just yet. Just notice what's happening. Awareness before action. Buy yourself some time. Say, "Let me get back to you." That's a complete sentence, and it's not a no either. That pause is where your nervous system can start to recalibrate. Remember, you don't have to over-explain your no either. Number 2, get curious about your yes. What is it protecting? Ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I say no? Loss of love, conflict, rejection, being seen as selfish? That fear is the root wound talking. Name it. Don't fight it. Number 3, name the feeling, not the story. When you have the urge to say yes, name what's actually happening. I'm feeling anxious right now, not they're going to be mad at me. The feeling is real. The story is a childhood script. Number 4, practice saying no with someone safe. Don't start by saying no to your mom. Start small. A coffee order, a minor favor. Train the muscle before you start the heavy lifting. Every small no is proof that your nervous system can survive it, okay? And number 5, the discomfort after saying no, it is not proof that you did something wrong. That guilt, that's just your nervous system playing an old program. It will pass, and it gets quieter every time you survive it. The truth is, you're not rewiring a habit. You're rewiring your identity. That takes time. Be patient with yourself. This isn't easy. Naming the root by delving deep takes courage. You are being courageous right now. If any of this resonates, it's not a mistake. Comment below which one of the 4, the root, the barrier, the pattern, or the truth, hits closest to home for you. You're not alone in this work. Comment below and create a safe space for others. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Bye for now.